Namaste. Schizoaffective disorder is a strange combination of cognitive and mood disorders. In this disorder, the person suffers from the symptoms of schizophrenia and symptoms of mood disorders occurring together. In this video, we will discuss schizoaffective disorder with psychoanalysis consultant Mr. Himanshu Vaidya. Namaste, Mr. Vaidya.
Namaste.
Mr. Vaidya, can we start with the introduction of the schizoaffective disorder, what it is all about?
It is about a disorder where the person fulfills criteria for schizophrenia and also about mood disorders. And it occurs in a way that two of them, the mood disorder and the schizophrenic disorder, both must reoccur together at least for 2 weeks. And there should be schizophrenia independent of the mood disorder at least for 2 weeks. And there should be mood disorder otherwise found in the whole series of sickness. So this is a more complicated version of schizophrenia where you have mood disorder coupled together with schizophrenia.
All right. So when we see that there is a lot of different things happening, what are the classical symptoms that would be covered with the term schizoaffective disorder?
The classic symptoms would be the symptoms of both. So from the schizophrenic spectrum, you would have delusion, hallucination, disorganized thought, disorganized behavior, catatonic behavior, either of it according to the schizophrenic criteria.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have 2 of the 5 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have mood disorder,
Mm-hmm.
where you may be looking at only depression or bipolarity.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk of bipolarity, it can be all the three, where either you have a stronger cycle of depression or a stronger cycle of mania,
Mm-hmm.
or both of them are strong cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So all these possibilities and combinations coexist, which we go into, not we, but the psychiatrists go into by specifiers. So essentially, we are looking at schizophrenic symptoms along with depression or along with bipolarity of some kind. And this leads to more confusion, both to the patient, to the person who tries to diagnose, and the person who tries to heal. Because in certain cases, there may be a confusion whether an outcome of an unrealistic outcome in terms of behavior, is it an outcome of a schizophrenic process or a manic process?
Right. So, like, what is the psychoanalytic explanation of the causation of schizoaffective disorder?
Psychoanalytically, we would say that the affect is so much which is bursting out into the symptom that it was not enough for schizophrenic symptoms to be an outlet for affect, and therefore the affect has burst out in a mood disorder also in addition to the schizophrenic symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So we are dealing with an extremely sensitive person with huge amount of affect generation, which is so exploding that even within the schizophrenic symptoms, it can't be contained.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from the schizophrenic symptom, you still have overflowing of affect into a mood disorder. So we are dealing with huge amount of affect generation, a very weak affect regulation, a very weak defense mechanism, very weak repressive defenses, and a weak cognitive structure also, which is so open to being attacked and being pushed into the schizophrenic spectrum. So we are looking at huge amount of negative affect generation, a weak system to handle it, both at the affective and cognitive levels. So this is the broad sense of the situation we are in. Now, when we look at uh, the causation of it, the causation of schizophrenia stands as causation for this also because that is involved. So we will be looking at the phenomena of Freudian homosexuality, Kleinian attack of the bad breast,
Mm-hmm.
Winnicott's deficit of good enough mothering,
Mm-hmm.
Kohut's concept of the fragile self, Devanlu's concept of projection of murderous and torturous rage in terms of phenomena. In terms of operations, we will be looking at operations of wish fulfillment, of projection, of attack on linking, attack on separation, fusion and confusion, disintegration of self, and uh, unprocessed material, affect distortedly going into motor actions. All those things should be there. But
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, we would also be looking at possibly very unpredictable parents,
Mm-hmm.
very unpredictable parents, and a reasonably strong. Uh, it's difficult to put in psychoanalytic framework, but in Ayurvedic framework, we would say a reasonably strong earth element.
Mm-hmm.
So that combination often goes with the situation that we are describing.
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking at this range of phenomena, this range of operational defenses, and a constitution which is hypersensitive,
Mm-hmm.
and parents mostly who would be very unpredictable. That is the kind of situation we are looking in terms of causation of schizoaffective disorder.
So, Mr. Vedya, how different schools of psychoanalysis proceed with healing of schizoaffective disorder?
Uh, from psychoanalytic point of view, uh, it looks less confusing than it does from other points of view. So compared to someone who is having negative symptoms, it is better to have someone with the schizoaffective symptom.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to somebody who has only schizophrenia,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about circumscribed schizophrenia, but
Okay.
let's say a universally spread out schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's better to have this because at least we are not facing the repression or isolation of affect
Okay.
in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
Affect is bursting forth in some sense.
Right. Right. So,
So
with
we at
regard to the
least have,
suffering part.
yeah, we at least have affect very near to the repression barrier or at least within the accessible zone. It is not as away as we find when the affect is blunted or somebody is just into hibernating into a catatonia. So we are looking at affect which is very effervescent and bursting forth
Mm-hmm.
in most cases of schizoaffective. And that provides us with a kind of a hook from psychoanalytic point of view to catch hold of that affect and make entry into the phenomena of the unconscious mind. So in terms of healing, it would be a long-term therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It would be by and large a 2 to 4 year kind of period with 2 to 3 sittings per week.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be looking at three essential things. One is to undo the phenomena which are resulting in the symptoms of schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Two, catharsis for the depressive part. And three, stabilization for the manic part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
So there would be all the three elements involved for bringing the person back to the normal zone. And of course, it is such a severe difficulty that we would of course require medications on the side, or maybe medications can be primary also, something, but it's a kind of thing where we require both medication and therapy for much better effect.
So somewhere the medicines can play a stabilizing role, and one can just
Yes,
move on with the therapy
yeah,
mean.
especially if we are looking at strong depression or strong mania,
Right, right.
then the person goes completely outside of the zone of therapy.
Mm.
So at least to bring the person within the zone of therapy, we have to control both the mood and also the schizophrenic symptoms within the limit.
Right.
Only then the tools of therapy can start showing effect.
So when we talk about different means and ways of making a person more functional in life, and
Right.
creating more of holistic healing. Now, how would other ways the holistic healing approach can help in healing of schizoaffective disorder, considering its severity?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say uh, some techniques from DBT, which are very good for stabilizing the unstable parts of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
which may be from a cognitive standpoint or affective standpoint.
Right.
But anything which promotes stability, anything that promotes self-expression, so say
Mhm.
psychodrama for catharsis,
Right.
okay? Anything which provides you opportunity to meet others, interact with others, and
Mm-hmm.
satisfy your need for minimum human contact and communication,
Mm-hmm.
which is any form of social work or any social group or peer support group, right? Then issues like homeopathy, right, where uh, which can provide relief to some people who feel very severe side effects
Mm-hmm.
of allopathy, or in some case it complements allopathy.
Mm-hmm.
But the basket of uh, Reiki, pranic healing, homeopathy, some tools of DBT, social peer group, some social work, uh, some groups of spirituality or holistic healing or energy healing like Reiki or pranic healing,
Mm-hmm.
all that put together does contribute to some sort of stability,
Right.
because one of the factors in one of the factors of instability would be inability to internalize a stable object.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So being around with stable objects and being around with adequate number of objects both promote stability and integration. So that's the way holistic healing can add on to what we are otherwise doing in
So
schizoaffective
if we
disorder.
introduce the holistic healing, the ambivalent ideas towards one therapy can also be taken care of.
Uh, Partly, yes. Partly, if there are reservations about a therapy, they have to be dealt with in the therapy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think there are two aspects: the subjective ambivalence and
Mm-hmm.
the objective limitation.
Right. Right.
Subjective ambivalence has to be worked through in therapy, and to take care of the objective limitedness of every form of therapy, we
Mm-hmm.
have to complement that with holistic tools.
Right.
So on that aspect, I think a holistic basket of approaches provides a much better outcome than just having a monochromatic focus on one or two tools.
Right. So, like, unlike our previous video was on catatonia, that was one of very severe versions in this schizophrenic spectrum, how we would rate the patient education, like how important it is, and is it viable to carry out the patient education here in context of this disorder?
Yeah, very much so. Uh, Fortunately, compared to catatonia, we don't have that kind of a difficulty in patient education.
Mm-hmm.
So in schizoaffective disorder, unless it's a very severe case, patient education is quite possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings about the same benefits which we talked of before,
Mm-hmm.
like the patient is saved from the anxiety of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
The patient uh, knows the do's and don'ts, what are in his interest, what are not in his interest. He knows which holistic tools to use or not use. He knows how to report his symptoms or well-being or experiences to the healer,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the healer be, therapist or the psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knows uh,
The triggers.
the triggers, the healing factors, and uh, he also knows which support groups to be in and
Mhm.
what helps the best for him. So
Right.
in that sense, in an overall sense, he is able to enhance his quality of life on multiple fronts if he is adequately educated.
That seems very positive. And what should the family members of caregivers do if they're helping someone dealing with this specific disorder, schizoaffective disorder?
It's very important in this particular context because we are dealing with almost a double volatility.
Mm-mm.
The volatility of the schizophrenic symptoms and the volatility of a mood disorder. And therefore, parents or the caregivers have to be adequately educated on the do's and don'ts, especially the triggers on what can set off a chain reaction in either of the domains, the schizophrenic domain or the mood domain. Uh, Essentially, it helps them to have very clear idea of do's and don'ts with respect to the patient, make a reasonable assessment about what is working and not working in terms of medication or therapy, take care of themselves to save themselves from secondary problems of secondary depression or secondary anxiety. Uh, See what kind of holistic tools are working or not working for the person. And finally, not panic in the face of a symptom, because if you know what the symptom is about, you don't panic. You don't have that infinite fear of the unknown. So all these factors are very important for the caregivers. And if you can educate them about the characteristics or uh, important features of this problem, it enhances their quality of life and the patient's quality of life.
Thank you, Mr. Himanshu Vaidya, for sharing your knowledge with us. It was a very, very important and useful talk here today. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.
We have covered today's schizoaffective disorder. In the subsequent videos, we shall be covering many more disorders from DSM-5 in the same way. With this video, we complete the chapter of schizophrenic spectrum disorders. Do see our upcoming videos on chapter of anxiety spectrum disorder and do write to us. Namaste.